What's up, my fellow creepers and things that go bump in the night? Welcome back, yes, back to another episode of Creature of the Night. I am your host, Toxin, your friendly neighborhood sinner. You should know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, ding that little bell to let you know every time I upload so you can keep up to date with me, guys. Yes. So, this past weekend, first off, hope you're enjoying your summer. Hopefully it's not too hot like down here in Texas. Major swamp ass every day. But this past weekend, I had the pleasure of going to see the newest movie, A Violent Nature.
Animals don't get too hung up on reason. They just keep killing.
When a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower which entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit that is spurred on by a 60-year-old crime, he becomes hellbent on retrieving it. Now, guys, this is my spoiler review. If you want to check out my spoiler-free review, go check the description down below, which has a link to my TikTok. Make sure you give me a follow over there, and make sure you ding the little bell over there as well to let you know every time I upload a new clip. I'll try to keep it hand in hand, guys. Spoilers over there. Spoiler free over there, spoilers over here, guys. Now, this takes place in the Ontario, Canada. This is a Canadian film. And let me just dive right into this, guys. It was shot beautifully. I love the cinematic view, and I love all the editing layers that was upon it because it made it feel old. It took us back to the old school slashers, and let's just be honest, just looking at this thing right away, it just has that Friday the 13th vibe with it, which honestly, going into it, that's what I thought it was going to be. Maybe it was just a different take on Jason, maybe it was going to be a reboot or some kind of something along that lines that was going to revamp the Friday the 13th franchise, but seeing it is his own thing. It's his own killer. Again, Johnny, he doesn't have, it's not Jason Voorhees. It's not anything like that, and he has his own unique mask. It is a firefighter's helmet, an old school firefighter's helmet. It just looks like a gigantic bug. Hopefully, you're seeing images or videos of it so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But I loved every minute of it, and again, like I said, it took us back to that old school slasher movie, and it, along with the walking, no music through the whole thing. It is just nature. Whatever you hear in nature, I call it a sneak peek. It's like I feel like this could have happened in the woods. Like it's a real thing going on, just because how real it was. No music going up, no suspense for anything like that. The kills were, I don't mean to laugh, and I know it wasn't meant to be funny, but a lot of kills just reminded me of old school slashers. So a lot of them were just kind of funny. Just one in particular that comes to mind, definitely when a girl is doing yoga and he scares her. She's about to run off the cliff. First off, I would have just completely cleared the cliff. Fuck it. It's probably a better way of dying than what he did. Getting a hook, putting it through her stomach, and then putting that same hook onto her head, and then pulling her head into her stomach. I don't know what that yoga pose is called, but holy shit, it was graphic. And
what did he say?
It was awesome. That's what I love too. It was spot on with the gore. It, again, taking us back to old school slashers. It just had the gore, the blood, everything, and just the crazy kills. Definitely one kill reminded me of Friday the 13th. I can't remember which one, but when he goes up behind a guy and he has a handsaw and he has him from behind and he kind of just cuts his way through. It definitely gave me the Friday the 13th vibes again. When, again, I don't remember which one, but he has a leather band and he has somebody tied to a tree and he sticks a stick through it and he just keeps tightening it over his eyes eventually until I think either the band snaps or the stick snaps itself because of so much pressure and how hard he's doing it. So, yeah, it was just a homage all over the place in my opinion. And, again, he looked hardcore, almost like Jason. He was tore up and along the same lines that it is a slow boy. I love the story that they do give in the campfire, that how he came about. He was just a tragic victim of a horrible prank, and it kind of just led on from there. Just somebody who died a tragic way and the soul couldn't rest. Getting Crow vibes, all that. So again, it was just, it kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I love the shots of him just walking. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it did feel, along with the killing scenes, because I do feel like they were overly long, but I feel like they did that because they focused so much on the third person shooter view of the killer that it really didn't add nothing to the story. Like, you didn't really get in touch with this victim, so you really didn't care when people started dying. If anything, because they took the locket from his burial ground, it kind of made you like, okay, y'all kids kind of deserved it. Like, no sympathy here, just saying. But I feel like they did that just because it made it more uncomfortable. It's like, damn, I am watching this from beginning to end, everything they're doing. Especially like one of the longer ones where he takes the Rangers of the Wood and he does like an automatic axe cutting thing, but the axe cutting thing is so slow, so it's barely pushing in. He decapitates them, but entirely the whole thing making you uncomfortable. But I was there for it. I loved it. But again, like the one thing I like too is like it followed him. It showed that these people don't teleport. They actually do walk. It's just they're so quiet and almost like so still and floating in their movements that you really can't tell that they're there. They're just kind of like that thing that you see in the corner of your eye and you just ignore because did I really see something or did I not? You probably did, so you just run because there's probably somebody in in your house. And I love that too. Again, back to the old school slashers. I love when these people try to run and something always happens. A bear trap, they fall on a log that has a protruding branch and it penetrates their fucking calf so they can't fucking get up and walk anymore. Hilarious. Again, I know it wasn't meant to be hilarious, but I was there for it and I just couldn't help but laugh. And a lot of people in the theater that we went to go see it at were laughing too because it just felt old school. I love it. It was very nostalgic for me. Now, with that, a lot of the things I said were double-edged swords. The one thing, the long shots, again, although beautiful, the long shots of following him walking through the woods, it did just kind of drag on. And again, because of that, we were following the killer most of the time. We didn't get to relate to the kids and didn't sympathize when they started dying. We got bits of stories here that there's a problem over here between two guys. One may have dated another of the girls. It was like a little thing, but you just didn't get enough to really engage. You just kind of heard the little story. And then even the story of what happened, it was just kind of him watching them from the fire. And it was slowly like the camera was slowly circling them as they were telling stories, getting everybody's reaction, everybody's movement, everybody's reaction to the story and what they were doing. Maybe giving them a little bit of personality of how each one was a joker and one was a drinker, one was really obsessed with their phone, one was really quiet, but he had like a little, but because they blatantly say it, had a little troubled past maybe, but just not enough for you to really engage and like sympathize with anybody. And even that, the turning of the camera, it kind of did give me a little headache. I felt a little nauseous from it. But again, it was just shot beautifully, and I loved every minute of it. So yeah, guys, I highly recommend the film. There was another thing that it was a double-edged sword. The dialogue was really basic. There was nothing really pushing the story along. Just little hints here and there, but it was like really unclear. Like we found out later that the ranger that he actually put Johnny in the ground, and before that, his father, who was the only survivor of the logging massacre, did the same thing, and he told his son how to do it, so his son did it. So I was like, okay, what was the thing that they needed to do? Like, is he alive the whole time? Is he actually dead? Is it just a revengeful spirit? What did you do that put you in?
Help me, nigga!
Because the people I went to go see it, my girlfriend actually said it did look like the pipe that the locket was on. It looked like it was put there intentionally to not just put the locket on it, but it looked like it was actually a breathing tube too. So was he alive or is he actually dead and he's just a vengeful spirit like I was saying, or what? It was just, it left a lot of more unanswered questions than it actually did. And then the ending, it was more like there wasn't a continuation. Like other horror movies, I feel like they were set up to, okay, there's going to be another one, like to set up a franchise. This one didn't necessarily do it because, yes, he's after the lock the whole time, and after seeing her last friend getting butchered, the last final girl, like, she's like, her idea from the get-go was like, what if I just give him the locket? But everybody said, no, that's awake. He's awake now, it's too late, it's not going to do nothing. But then after seeing her friend get killed and she leaves the locket there for him to get, and she's running, and it leaves that suspenseful thing the whole time, that she finds somebody, like she's wandering the woods for hours. She runs into somebody to help her to take her to the hospital. But is he following still? Is he right there? Is he around the corner? Is he in the back of the truck? What's going on? I love that it left that unknowing feeling throughout the whole thing. And again, that's That's very, 80s slasher feel, so I love that as well. And then too, I love the whole dialogue that they had in in the truck as they're driving, because again, since it was mostly from the killer's point of view, we really didn't get to sympathize with this person. So now we're actually getting a little one-on-one where she's talking to this unknown woman who picked her up. And like, I feel like that's actually what we don't see. We never see what happens when they escape. Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when she's the original one, when she's in the back of the truck, she's just laughing, and she just drives away or anything. Like when they finally get away, the final girl makes it. What happens? Like they're just driving and that's it. Like they go into the sunset and we don't hear nothing else from that.
What?
So this one, it actually shows that she's the little awkward conversations, a very human-like situation is going on, and I was there for it. I loved it. But yeah, guys, a lot of double-edged swords in this film. Some things that work, some things that didn't. Things that did work for me wouldn't really work. I can see why it really wouldn't work in the real world versus anything like when a civilian actually goes to see this film. Maybe they'll get bored of it again because it's long drawn out, very quiet, no atmosphere music, no background music, nothing. Like it was quiet besides them actually hearing him crunch through the forest. But guys, I give it a good 8 out of 10. I enjoyed every minute of it, but I can see why civilians really wouldn't love it. It's definitely one of those, if you grew up watching the 80s film slash, the classic slashers, that you're going to get into it, in my opinion. And then maybe the nowadays age, maybe they wouldn't. Who knows? But hopefully we see more from this guy. Hopefully we see more of Johnny. And one part I did like, I want to throw out there too, was I loved it when they threw the keys and there was actually a toy car, and which is what started the whole murder thing, because they lured him. Again, so I'm guessing he was already an adult type of situation. It's kind of, again, Jason, he drowned as a kid, but now he's an adult. So is it the same similar thing? He was killed, but he came back as a vengeful spirit as an adult. Who knows? But he has a little toy car, and he's playing with it, and then he kind of comes back to reality. Oh, I gotta finish this. Crushes it. Childhood robbed. It's a sad story. It makes you definitely sympathize with the killer for once. Like something I believe Rob Zombie did for like 3 from Hell and The Devil's Rejects. Like they made you sympathize with the killer and feel sorry for him. And I think that's something that we don't really see a lot of days nowadays, and it's very unique, and that's what draws me in. Like, yeah, we always go for the villain, so I want to see more of that. Yeah, guys, I give again an 8 out of 10, 2 thumbs up. I recommend any film, even if I shit on it, but I definitely didn't shit on this one. So go check it out. Let me know what you think about this film. Let me know what you thought about this review. And if you want to see anything that I may have missed, or you have any recommendations of films that you want me to review, let me know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share my videos, guys. I need your support. And like I always say, if you're not sinning, you're not having fun. Beware the moon, guys.